Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world, it's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from the Palatial Studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
And the top of the morning to you and yours, June the 9th, 2021.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final boarding call, and the doors will be closing soon.
Okay, well, I'm on board. I'm ready to go.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
That's right. We are standing clear of the doors.
Ladies and gentlemen, please collect your belongings and watch your head and step as you exit. Please assist small children by the hand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think we're on the Disney monorail without a doubt. Let me take a look here and look at the clock. The clock does say this time.
It's now 6:07 a.m.
That's right. We're inside the Disney monorail, broadcasting live from the Disney monorail this morning.
and you know, it's nice
we make
that
our way around.
we can be stepping inside that monorail and having some fun because last year at this time we couldn't.
That's
and
right.
Disney was closing down those sort of things.
That's right. It's the most magical place on the face of the earth, the planet. That's where we like to be, but actually, no, we're in our palatial studios. That was just wishful thinking.
We're the palatial studios at Disney. I think it's one of the most crowded planets. At least when I went to Disney Springs, I couldn't believe that crowd that was coming in there.
Oh yeah,
millions of people, all like robots.
Millions. That's a lot.
Money.
Millions.
Well, I would say maybe when we were in that terminal and that walk through security, I got to say hundreds to thousands, maybe. Yeah.
There's a lot of people there. Everybody's getting out and about. Everything is getting back to normal, so to speak. I guess we can look at this thing kind of in our rear view mirror, but don't let your guard down fully. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. And we even went out to eat last night, and you know, we see some people still wearing the masks and some people not wearing them, and it's refreshing now to really just kind of have that choice.
I was driving down the street the other day and I thought I saw you and Gary at Pueblo Viejo.
Yes.
Sitting outside.
Were you driving in that area too yesterday, Evan?
I was. And I thought I saw you guys.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, there they are. Okay.
No kidding.
The gruesome twosome.
We were sitting outside for a little bit there.
How was your food?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know, usually I order the nachos because I think their nachos are the most incredible in the world with all the ooey gooiness of the cheese and the cheddar and a light on the jalapeno. But I actually opted to get what Gary always gets yesterday, the fajita trio.
Fajita trio. What is a fajita trio?
It includes, you know, it's kind of like they give you the wraps so you can wrap it up like a burrito style.
So they bring all the stuff out in like a sizzling pan or something like that, and then you make your own fajita with the little tortilla.
That's really what they do, Evan. And then they with a trio, it includes chicken, shrimp, and steak. And it is just wonderful. And the shrimp that you eat there they're just like 2 and 3 bite shrimp. You know, they're not little dainty little things that they put in there.
Oh, wow.
They're kind of like nice size shrimp.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. And
their salsa. Oh man.
I bet their salsa's to die for.
Oh, it is. It's authentic. It's, you know, like homemade, authentic Mexican style. And it is yummy. And, you know, sometimes in the past, when I take nachos home, I ask for a little extra.
Sounds delish.
Yes.
Sounds very delish. Is it very expensive?
It's, you know, it's not too bad. I think for the 2 dishes, I think the fajita trio was $20 last night.
Well, it's not too bad.
It's not, because for how it tastes, it's just it's some really good food. So I'm going to try from now on when I go there, you know, try other things on their menu and become a grown-up and get away from my appetizer.
Become a grown-up?
Yeah, because I always order the appetizer nachos.
Oh, I
kind of
thought
like
you were
a
like
kid.
ordering from the kids' meal or something. Become a grown-up. Yeah, I'll become a grown-up today. That's a good one. I like that. I like that. So what'd you do when you get out of here yesterday?
Oh, I put on my big pants and I was a grown-up.
Okay. Opposed to your little pants? Big pants.
But
Big pants.
And
Okay.
then later on in the day, I actually got dressed up for the occasion
Oh,
and
you
went out to
did?
eat.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Put your big pants on. What the heck are big pants?
I don't know.
Are those oversized pants or something?
The big pants are bigger than my littler pants.
Oh, okay. I hope so.
Just a little bit.
So you got a little pair of pants and a big pair of pants. I just have pants. That's all. I don't even wear pants. Well, no, that doesn't sound right. I wear shorts. There we go.
You have those comfortable shorts going on every day, Evan.
I must own 25 pair of basketball shorts between Nike and Under Armour, and a lot of them are the same color. So I don't want you to think that I'm wearing the same pair of shorts every day, because that I don't do my laundry or
That would
anything
be
like
gross.
that. Yeah, that would be
Yes.
way beyond gross.
So do you think you own more hats or more shorts, more pairs of shorts, or is it about equal?
I want to say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I must have like 30 hats.
Wow.
And I probably have 30 pair of basketball shorts.
Good. I'm glad that the hats are lined up with your shorts quite
Well,
nicely.
they have
then.
everything. If you notice, everything has to match.
You do that. And you do that
everything
well.
has to match. My kids taught me that you don't go out of the house unless you match. So if you notice, the sneakers match the shorts and the shirt matches the hat. I kind of guess that.
So your kids help you dress, and does Rachel help you dress too?
No, not that, or not this early in the morning.
No, but she doesn't like put out your clothes the night before
Oh,
and
no.
help you out that way.
No.
get
That's
that
just
going.
not happening.
No.
That is not going to happen.
Yeah, that would be like way too much work, wouldn't it?
Well, if she were to pick my clothes out, that's just not going to happen. Sorry.
Yeah. Usually
Not
when we
happening.
go out, like in the past, we've tried to dress like one another. Do you and Rachel do that, color coordinate with one another as a
You
couple?
do like the twinsy thing,
We do. We have done that in the past. Yes.
right down to the underpants.
No.
I was going to say, if y'all are doing that, that's definitely okay.
You know, the
That
kind
would
of
be
thing,
good.
like if I'm wearing a light blue dress, maybe he wears a dark,
dark
blue
blue.
or a blue shirt.
Oh, we've matched. Rachel and I have matched quite a few times. Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah.
We've done that where her and I'll match up or something like that.
Yeah,
So that's not a
fun,
problem.
Fun to do.
Yeah, that's okay to do. We'll do that like if we go out for like a nice dinner or something like that, and I'll wear like a sport jacket, so she'll kind of
Oh,
color
yeah.
coordinate with me or something.
I've
of
seen
that
you
nature.
guys on Facebook sporting it.
Yeah.
You've dressed quite nicely.
Yeah.
Always
Holiday time,
classy
we always-
style.
Holiday time we always match up. Red is the traditional color
Yeah.
for holiday time.
Sometimes I wonder, like, if I had a twin, if I would dress and want to match my twin.
I don't know what I would do if you had a twin.
I don't know.
I'd be freaked out just because I wouldn't know who's who. I wouldn't know if you'd send your twin in here to work for you just to pull a joke on me.
That would be, you could probably pull that off, right? Like if you wanted a
Well,
day off, if you looked that
If it's
identical.
if the twin is identical, yeah, you could pull that off.
Yeah.
You could even do that in school. Like switch places with your twin.
Yes.
Like if you're sick, you send your twin for you to your class, or you switch classes and your twin goes to your classes and you go to your twin's class. Now that would be interesting.
Now there's like a lot you could pull off. Or maybe if you wanted to step out of your wedding on your wedding day where it just wasn't happening, send your twin to get married.
Oh, jeez. Then what happens when you got to kiss the groom? Does the twin kiss the groom?
I guess.
That's just not right.
But could the groom tell that it's not you?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That'd be an interesting
Yeah.
topic to talk about.
Yeah, I guess it depends like how identical you are, right?
Maybe that'll be an episode for Maury Povich. Twin swapping at the altar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I wonder if it's ever happened.
I'm
That
sure
would be
it has.
like if it does or if it did, that would be like a story for your stupid news.
Oh, I could see that being on Jerry Springer.
I know.
Twin swapping at the altar.
Oh.
That would be a good one. Yeah, that would definitely be a good one. Hey, Phil's going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, he is.
He's going to be hanging out with us.
I'm excited.
He's bringing some food like he always does.
Are you bringing any of those sour balls in, Evan? That's what that dude was eating the other day, that they were little sour balls. And man, by the look on his face, they were sour. He was
I'm sorry.
okay.
Just the way you put it.
Okay, now I'll help you stop laughing. Think of sourdough bread instead.
That's even worse. It's too early to laugh this hard. Oh my gosh. I could not find any sour candy that quickly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
and
just
to
I couldn't
order
find
it
any.
and for it to get here. Maybe
Yeah.
we could have a shipment come in a couple of weeks for if anybody has any sour balls. They could just bring them in to us.
Poor Jeff is probably run off the road by now.
We need a fast shipment.
Boy, this show derailed. And we're only on 17 minutes in. Oh, what a topic to talk about this morning. Maybe we should call G and ask them if they have ever tried any
sour balls.
Oh my gosh.
They would have to collect their thoughts on that one.
They would have to do more than collect their thoughts. Oh gosh, the phone's ringing. This has got to be Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
I hit 2 mailboxes laughing so hard. Oh my God, I'm in trouble. The Fed is going to be looking for me. Oh,
Can you believe Bonnie is talking about this early in the
Well,
morning?
maybe Phil will bring
Powerballs. What were you thinking?
Phil will bring in his own sour balls.
You could give that old man a heart attack there. You know, you can't make him laugh that way this hour of the morning.
Just so the listeners know, we're talking about candy.
Yes.
Okay, we are talking about candy. We're not talking about what you think we're talking about.
Yeah, we saw a viral
Oh.
video. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Huh?
What were you going to say?
We saw a viral video of 2 days ago where a guy had this sour candy that he was eating.
Yeah, I heard that the guy sounded like he was going to puke or something after he got done with it. He was like, God, Marty, I bet he wished he could puke at that stage of the game.
And supposedly it's the most sour thing you could eat in the world. It's like one of those taste test things once again that you put people through. And we need a shipment of them because we want to put Phil through it, but it might not be tomorrow.
Let people do things like that. You know, you sit there and tell me, Jeff, this is the most sour thing in the whole wide world. It's going to make you pucker up for a week.
Yeah.
Might make both ends pucker up for all
I don't know.
But anyway,
I mean, it's
like I would not eat that.
I mean, here, I found the video again. Listen, here.
All right. So, Amazon package, right? This is supposed to be the most world's sourest candy. I don't know. I'm going to find out. So, let's see. We'll open this. Whew. Burn my nose. Look at it. Look how sour it is. Just look at the powder, all the stuff.
Here we go. Here we go. Puts it in his mouth.
Oh.
Oh.
Right? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Just the thought of it makes my mouth kind of pucker. You know, I get that sensation like I'm actually eating it. Like if you eat, think of biting into like a lemon or something.
Oh, a lemon is timid compared to
the
the sour candy.
What he's eating here.
Yeah. Definitely so.
I was amazed about that balloon thing they were talking about the other day. Did you
With the
have that?
orange, squeezing the orange over the balloon. Yeah.
Make the balloon pop. You know, it's like, oh man, how the hell did you do that?
Well, you know what, Jeff? Why don't you go to the store and go buy an orange today and go home and blow a balloon up and squeeze it over?
Actually, I may come to the studio and do that little test.
Really?
I'm gonna see about flying into the studio.
Well, we don't have a landing strip anywhere for you to fly in, so you'll have to drive.
Shoot, they give me a parachute. I'll just jump out.
All right, that'd be fine. Well, you bring an orange in here and bring some donuts and some soda and all sorts of other goodies.
And a balloon that we can blow up.
Yes.
And then,
see if it'll work.
Let's see if that really is true.
We'll do that
our own
experiment.
little taste,
Yeah,
our little
we'll
test there.
yeah, we'll do a little experiment on the air.
There you go.
All right, buddy.
All right, so
well, you have a wonderful day.
We'll see you later, guys.
Talk to you later. 621 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news, all brought to you by Florida Blue, your local Blue Cross Blue Shield, helping families take control of their health for more than 75 years. Bonnie's at the news desk with the headlines this morning. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. President Biden is saluting the seniors of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. He spoke virtually during yesterday's graduation ceremony.
3 years ago, your lives and the lives of this community changed in an instant. And this class lost a piece of its soul. You've been tested in ways no young person should ever have to face.
9 members of the class of 2021 were killed 3 years ago in the mass shooting on the Parkland campus. A team of brave and dedicated Martin County Marine deputies rescued a pair of boaters over the weekend after an accident left them adrift and alone in dangerous waters off the Treasure Coast. WPTV's John Shaman has the story.
Nice. Big shark. Martin County Marine Deputy Mike Joseph has been patrolling these waters for years. He knows the area's trickiest spots.
At the beginning of our shift, a lot of the guys will come out here and check the sea state, just see what we're dealing with for the day.
Sunday, lifeguards at Bathtub Beach saw a boat drifting toward the reef. They made it on board and found 2 IDs and other personal belongings, so they called the sheriff's office.
All it takes is one wrong wave or lose your footing in this, and you're in the water.
It turns out a woman on board had fallen in the inlet. The other person killed the engine and jumped in, but when he got to her, the boat was too far away, and they were at the mercy of the current.
Out into the ocean, and then it pulled them to the north.
Based on their knowledge of the area, Deputy Joseph and the other rescuers had an idea of where they could be.
We looked in the water, and we saw a head bobbing in between the breaking waves.
They also heard the cries for help.
For us to hear it, I would say 200-300 yards away, it carried well. They were struggling, treading water. I believe they're in the water for over 30 minutes. They were visibly tired and shaken.
We reached out to the couple that was rescued, but they didn't want to share their part of the story. Deputy Joseph says neither boater was wearing a life jacket, but there were jackets on the boat, so no citation was issued.
St. Lucie Inlet is very dangerous, especially with the water being like that. I mean, at any time in a smaller vessel like they were in, you could take one over the front, you could swamp the vessel, and you could obviously fall overboard.
Joseph says this wasn't his first rescue, and it probably won't be his last.
It's always a good day, like I said, when we can do this and help people out. I mean, that's why I do it.
In Martin County, John Shaman, WPTV. News Channel 5.
A coalition of 16 environmental groups and businesses on Tuesday urged Florida's governor to declare a state of emergency to help restore the Indian River Lagoon, ground zero for this year's record manatee die-off because of seagrass loss. The 4 businesses and 12 environmental nonprofits likely won't get what they want. However, a state of emergency is not necessary at this time, a state official said on Tuesday, confirming what the governor previously has said. The state is using its resources to respond to the crisis with the help of local governments and citizen organizations. Deanne Miller, spokesperson for the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, said in a prepared statement. The coalition said urgent action is needed to restore the lagoon. A jury awarded $40 million to the father of a man who died in 2014 after being struck by a motorist in Palm City who left the scene after driving drunk. According to an attorney and court records, John David White and his former Key Lime Cafe Incorporated were ordered by Circuit Judge Gary Sweet on Monday to pay a total of $40 million, $30 million in compensatory and $10 million in punitive damages after the February 2014 death of 27-year-old Philip Harvey Jr. White, now 46, was sentenced in 2015 to 25 years in prison after the incident in which his Acura crashed into the back of a Hyundai on Southwest Martin Downs Boulevard at the light at Southwest Map Road. White, who was found to have left the scene after the crash, is scheduled to be released in 2037. Attorney Diego Beach County filed the wrongful death lawsuit and said the 40 is the largest he has realized since he had been practicing in 1982. Philip Harvey Sr., the father of the deceased, his name as the representative of his estate. Mr. Harvey wanted a legal verdict. He wanted an appropriate verdict, a reasonable verdict, Asensio said Monday. Asensio said he asked the jury to award a minimum of $27 million, which they raised to $30 million. The jury also awarded $10 million in those punitive damages. It is always the discretion of the jury whether to punish somebody and how much, Asensio said. And news time is 6:26. We'll take a quick look at sports. And as we bring our sports up here for a moment, 7 years ago, the Denver Nuggets used the 41st pick in the NBA draft on an unheralded center from Serbia. And on Tuesday, Nikola Jokic became the 6th international player to win the NBA's MVP. Jokic was given the news during a team meeting at the Nuggets Hotel ahead of Game 2 of their second-round series with the Suns on Wednesday in Phoenix, with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver making the announcement over a video conference call. News time is 6:27, and we'll have weather and traffic together next.
$6:28 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie, what do we got?
Out on the roads right now, we're not finding any traffic accidents to report for Martin County and St. Lucie County. Things look nice and clear right here at the moment. And there's your latest look at traffic. We have 75 this morning in Port St. Lucie. It's 60 and cloudy in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, Canada. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
Happy Wednesday to you. Today's forecast, mostly sunny skies, hot and humid, high temperatures in the upper 80s. Feels like temperature in the low to mid 90s and slim rain chances. More of the same with a lot of sunshine and dry weather through Friday. Then we'll finally increase rain chances as we go into the weekend and next week as we set up a stormier weather pattern. I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist James Wieland on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
The Get Up and Go Show would love to hear from you live on the air. Give us a call at any time. Now let's get back to the program. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
6:31 right now on the Get Up and Go Show, and it's time for viral videos. I've got two this morning that are pretty funny. First one is a Disney worker. Since we're talking about Disney World, there's a Disney worker that shared the dumbest question she ever got from a guest. She talks about Disney's Magical Express service, where they automatically check your baggage into your room for you. Well, one guest, here, just let's listen.
What's the dumbest thing a guest has asked you while working at Disney World?
I have been waiting for this one. I worked for Disney World as a CP in Bell Services, so at one of the resorts, and I once had a guest come up to me who had been checked in for hours at that point, and they still hadn't received their luggage to the room, and they were using Disney's Magical Express service. We were trying to track down their luggage, and we couldn't find it anywhere in our system, so we finally asked the guest where they left their luggage. They told us that they left it on their front porch of their home.
Oh my.
Because they thought the service was magical and that they would come pick it up and take it to their room, as if there's a magical bus that goes around all over the world and just picks up people's luggage and sends it to Disney World because they're just supposed to know, I guess. That's a 100% true story.
There you go.
They believe the magic of Disney.
Yeah. That's definitely not a magical experience. No. Sorry.
Sounds so out there. It makes you wonder if that really happened or if this Disney employee is making up this story.
I don't think they're making the story up. I think that's true because some people actually think that. There are people that think that Disney has lots of magic, and that's a little overkill, I think.
But to leave your luggage at home, now you're leaving those comfortable shoes you need to wear that you need to walk all over Disney with.
They assumed
your
that
toothbrush.
They assumed it was magic, and Disney was just going to send a magic bus there to pick the luggage up on the front patio and take it to the hotel.
Oh my, that's they assumed wrong.
Yeah. Here's another viral video of a guy who claims his sleeping dog will wake up immediately if he says certain words. And one of them is the word chicken. He says all these other words and the pup doesn't move until he says the word chicken. Listen.
You can see she's sleeping peacefully. And I can say just about anything except three things. If I say the word CHICKEN, she will wake up.
You can see the dog sleeping. The dog's snoring.
If she wants to go OUTSIDE, she will wake up. If I ask her if she wants to go RIDE in the CAR, she will wake up. Anything else I say, she's not waking up.
Dog just lays there.
Steak.
Beef.
Hamburger. Peanut butter.
Nothing.
She loves salmon.
Nothing.
Salmon skin.
Dog sleeping.
Bone.
Nothing.
Not even a bone?
Treat.
Nothing.
Oh, if I say the word WALK, she'll wake up.
Yeah. You hear the dog breathing. It's snoring.
What else do dogs like?
A snoring, sleepy dog.
Right?
She likes pretzels.
Dog is...
Well, she's in a deep sleep now.
TOYS.
Yeah.
She'll wake up. So let's try this out.
All right, here we go.
I've said a bunch of things. Mentioned different kind of food she likes. But I know she loves CHICKEN.
Here we go. That's the magic word.
Chicken.
Dog's eyes just popped right open. Popped right open. Look
Dog
at that.
wakes up.
Right up.
Wow. That's fascinating.
He's covering his mouth because the breath of the dog is awful. Is that the craziest thing?
He did say like a zillion words there. That
Yeah.
holds true. Once he said chicken, the dog wakes right up.
Dog jumped right up.
And he said those magical words that, like, when I've had dogs in the past, that word outside.
Yeah.
A dog knows that word.
Yeah, Kaya knows that. Is when I say outside, forget it.
Yeah.
She goes nuts.
Yep.
Or if you want a treat, she goes nuts. Or if you ask her, if you say to Kaya, tell me what you want, she'll walk all the way over to the counter
Yeah.
and jump up on the counter and bark at the treats.
Wow.
Yeah.
and they know that car ride. This dog knew car ride too.
Yeah, that was another one. Car ride.
Yeah. But boy, the dog, I mean, prefers chicken instead of steak.
Yeah.
That steak didn't wake the dog up, but chicken sure did.
No.
Loves her chicken.
Speaking of steak, I took myself out to lunch yesterday.
Where did you go?
Went to Bono's barbecue.
You know, I've never been there.
Yeah.
Um,
Had the brisket.
Bono's, but I've seen it around. Where's that at?
It's just south, 5 minutes south of here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just south on Monterey and US 1.
That's where I've seen it then.
Yeah, it's right there on the right-hand side. Can't miss it.
And they have a good steak. Serve up a good one.
They I don't know if they serve steak or not. I had the beef brisket with the barbecue sweet sauce and mac and cheese and fries.
Oh man,
Coke.
they serve a good barbecue then,
Yeah,
because
it's
we've been craving that lately.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. Did you know that 48% of people say accepting of faults is the most important trait in a friend? So if they accept their faults, that's a very good trait. Did you know that the average time you'll own a car is 10 years?
Uh-huh.
Are you crazy?
I know you go through cars like your underwear, right?
Yeah.
Like changing your underwear.
I mean, let me see. This is my second vehicle that I've had since I've worked here. Because didn't I have a red one before?
I think it was red,
yeah,
right?
it was like a maroon Explorer, and then I traded it and got the gray one. So, and I've had the gray one just a little over a year. But they'll own a car in 10 years to own one vehicle?
Which, you know, to me kind of makes sense, because like if you say if you get a 5-year loan on one, you pay that off after 5 years. So you get a new car, you still, you know, I would still consider I could drive it 5 years from paying that off and enjoy no car payments for a while.
I like to get cars often.
Yeah.
But the problem is they depreciate in value. That's the only downside.
Right. When you drive them off the lot, right?
Exactly. The minute you drive that thing off the lot, forget it. Boom. Value goes way down. Did you know 40% of us would end a relationship because we didn't get along with the other person's dog?
With the dog?
With the dog.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe if
Thank
that.
God Gavin's girlfriend gets along with Kaya.
Yeah. If you go over their house and that dog bites you,
Yeah.
you know, that might be a tough situation.
Yeah.
You got to get along with the dog.
Yeah. But who comes first, the dog or the spouse?
Wow.
The dog, obviously.
Wow.
Did you know, according to restaurant food delivery guys, hair salons are the worst tippers? When you deliver food to a hair salon,
Yeah.
they're the worst tippers in the world.
Really?
The worst.
You would,
Sometimes they don't even tip.
you would think that they would be some of the best tippers.
Yeah, because they get tipped.
They rely on tips also.
Yeah.
And yeah, in my industry with massage, we
Mhm.
rely on tips. We do.
I get tipped when I
So-
DJ weddings.
Yes.
I get very large tips, and I don't complain. I don't expect a tip because they're paying good money for my service.
Right.
But on the other flip of the coin, if they're happy with the service, then they tip you.
They're happy,
Yeah.
and therefore that big tip, they want to send that happiness on to you, and
Oh, yeah.
that big tip makes you happy.
Oh, yes. Did you know the latest statistics show the average driver will lock their keys in their vehicle 9 times in a lifetime?
9.
9 times in their
That's
life.
9 times too many.
Gavin's already done this 4.
Has he?
4 out of 9 times.
Oh.
And he's only been driving for 2 years on his own.
He should learn by the experience then, because that it's that moment when you realize that your
Yeah.
keys are locked in, that hairy moment where you're going,
Yep.
whoops,
Exactly.
the hairs are pulling from the back of your neck and your heart's flying out of your chest all at once.
Did you know that researchers at Harvard University say women who want to get pregnant should eat ice cream at least twice a week? Research showed eating high-fat dairy foods reduce the risk of infertility. So, ladies, if you're
Wow.
out there listening and you want to get pregnant, eat ice cream twice a week.
That's the first time I've ever heard of any
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
To eat more of something will.
It'll help you get more fertile.
That's
And that's from
interesting.
Harvard University.
Man.
That's a no joke university.
So it's a good excuse to enjoy that ice cream.
Exactly.
Eat away.
Did you know that 76 people injure their eyes on drinking fountains every year? 76 people. So when you go down
Yeah.
to drink out of the spigot, they poke their eyeball.
Wow.
Ouch.
Are there any drinking fountains anymore?
Haven't seen any, especially now with COVID. All the drinking fountains are all taped off.
I'm trying to remember where the last time that I saw a drinking fountain.
I think in high school for me.
I'm thinking too. I'm thinking like right outside the gymnasium, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did you know a recent survey says the biggest cause of stress in Americans' lives is making the mortgage payment every single month? Every single month.
Yeah. Wow. That's I don't usually stress out about that.
No?
No. I mean, he doesn't either because our money arrives on time.
Okay.
We both go to work. We both pull our pants up and go to work and get to work. I guess I think it would stress me out if we had some major health concerns.
Well, yeah.
More, because then we couldn't go to work to pay that mortgage.
Yeah. Did you know that a recent survey says the biggest cause of stress in Americans' lives? Oh, that's the mortgage payment. Hello.
Oh, I thought you were
Okay.
going to add another stressor.
No.
Something
no.
more that we can stress about.
No. Did you know that Americans purchase 720 million slices of pie every year? 720 million slices of pie
yeah.
every single year.
Yeah, and
Wow.
maybe more when they go to Ellie's Deli.
That's a lot
and
of pie.
Get some of that key lime pie from Chef
Right?
Mark.
Or that cookie as big as your head.
I know, right?
as they say it. Lastly, did you know that 73% of women struggle with getting out of bed every single morning? Wow. That's a very interesting stat.
73%?
70, let me see, where is it? 73% of women, they
Wow.
struggle with getting out of bed.
That's a high percentage. I mean,
Yeah.
that would be, much higher than I think.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Do you struggle when you get out of bed in
No,
the morning?
I can spring right out of bed like it's nobody's business.
You pop right up.
I do.
Like a jack in the
Sometimes I'm up before the alarm goes off too, and I'm ready to get up. But even when the alarm goes off and I'm in a dead sleep,
Mhm.
I kind of roll over and just hit the dismiss, shut off my alarm, and I
Mhm.
get right up.
So you're like Jack in the Box, but instead we'll call you Bonnie in the Box.
Yeah, I know I got to
Okay.
do it anyway, so I
Yeah.
don't beat around the bush about it. I get out of bed, I get going, no
Mhm.
matter how sleepy.
Yeah, when my alarm goes off, I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm up. And like I went to bed like at 8:30 last night because last night I was off from the stadium. I went to bed at 8:30 and I
That's a
woke
good
up
time.
I woke up at 1 and I just could not fall back asleep.
Yeah.
Couldn't fall back asleep. I sat there and tossed and turned and moved and this and that and the other and tried to rock my legs so I could, rock myself back to sleep and nothing. I just laid there until like 4:15 until I heard
I hate that. But you know what, Evan? Here's a thought. You should start writing down your sleep patterns
Mhm.
because as you were saying that, I kind of took note of my own that when I'm waking up at that 1:00 or 2:00 hour and I can't get back to sleep,
Yeah.
it's usually when I went to bed earlier, like around 8:00 or 8:30.
Wow.
So maybe try going to bed a little bit later. And
I've tried. It's just I want to get like 6-7 hours worth of sleep. So if I go to bed at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, if I go to bed at 8, I'll wake up at 3. That's 7 hours. If I go to bed at 9, I'll wake up at 4. I have tried everything humanly possible to go to bed at different times. If I go to bed at 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll wake up at 4. That's 6 hours. It just, nothing works.
Yeah.
Zero.
I think, but that's the thing with the hours we work, it's always changing
Yeah.
where you're going to go to bed at 10, some nights 11,
Yeah.
which are kind of rare, but they happen.
Yeah.
And some nights you'll be able to make it early. They fluctuate, don't they?
It is what it is. It is what it is. I've been dealing with it all my life, and I'll just continue dealing with
Darn it, deal with it.
6:46 on the Wednesday edition of the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. All brought to you by our good friends at St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin for the best deals in town on any type of precious metals. Make sure and stop by and say hello to Hawk Levy at St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Here's Bonnie with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. A team of brave and dedicated Martin County Marine deputies rescued a pair of boaters over the weekend after an accident left them adrift and alone in dangerous waters off the Treasure Coast. Here's WPTV's John Shaman.
Nice. Big shark.
Martin County Marine Deputy Mike Joseph has been patrolling these waters for years. He knows the area's trickiest spots.
At the beginning of our shift, a lot of the guys will come out here and check the sea state, just see what we're dealing with for the day.
Sunday, lifeguards at Bathtub Beach saw a boat drifting toward the reef. They made it on board and found 2 IDs and other personal belongings, so they called the sheriff's office.
All it takes is one wrong wave or lose your footing in this, and you're in the water.
It turns out a woman on board had fallen in the inlet. The other person killed the engine and jumped in, but when he got to her, the boat was too far away, and they were at the mercy of the current.
Out into the ocean, and then it pulled them to the north.
Based on their knowledge of the area, Deputy Joseph and the other rescuers had an idea of where they could be.
We looked in the water, and we saw a head bobbing in between the breaking waves.
They also heard the cries for help.
For us to hear it, I would say 200-300 yards away, it carried well. They were struggling, treading water. I believe they're in the water for over 30 minutes. They were visibly tired and shaken.
We reached out to the couple that was rescued, but they didn't want to share their part of the story. Deputy Joseph says neither boater was wearing a life jacket, but there were jackets on the boat, so no citation was issued.
The St. Lucie Inlet is very dangerous, especially with the water being like that. I mean, at any time in a smaller vessel like they were in, you could take one over the front, you could swamp the vessel, and you could obviously fall overboard.
Joseph says this wasn't his first rescue, and it probably won't be his last.
It's always a good day, like I said, when we can do this and help people out. I mean, that's why I do it.
In Martin County, John Shaman, WPTV, News Channel 5.
For the first time, the number of Baker Act exams in Florida decreased. WPTV's Contact 5 investigative reporter Katie Legrone explains why.
For the first time, the number of Baker Act exams is down in Florida. That's according to USF's Center for Baker Act Reporting, which tracks the number of involuntary mental health exams done under the state's Baker Act law. The center exclusively revealing to us early numbers which show last fiscal year, the statewide total of involuntary psychiatric exams decreased by nearly 4% from the year prior. The largest drop, kids under 18, which has historically been trending up in Baker Act exams, and younger, with kids as young as 5 years old committed under the state Baker Act law. According to the latest data, between 2019 and 2020, Florida logged nearly 36,000 Baker Act exams for kids, a decrease of more than 5% from the previous year.
We need to reduce that number by much, much more.
But during a year dominated by shutdowns, school closures, and distance learning, Sam Boyd, senior attorney with the Southern Poverty Law Center, believes the Baker Act drop is more reflective of the pandemic than any fundamental change in how Baker Acts are used here.
We don't see any other policy changes that could explain it other than the fact that folks are staying home because of the pandemic.
In March, the advocacy group released this report criticizing the state for overusing, even abusing the Baker Act, pointing blame at school districts, including Palm Beach County. But more state funding focused on improving mental health on campus has some school districts seen major drops in Baker Acted students. They say the pandemic cannot fully explain.
The Baker Act isn't a punishment.
In Orange County, in the last 3 years, the number of students Baker Acted in the district has dropped from 542 to 104 this year.
Do you think that the pandemic also played a role in the numbers?
Sure. I think that that would definitely have some impact on the numbers early in the fall when so many kids were doing distance learning.
But for the past few years, the district, like many, has made mental health a focus, using state funding from the Marjory Stoneman Douglas Act to pump up its mental health staff on campus. By fall, each school in the district will have a social worker to help kids in crisis.
It gives us more resources to do that without resorting all the way to the Baker.
After a year consumed by a global health crisis, it's too early to tell if the recent drop in Baker Acts in Florida is sustainable, or just another anomaly during a year full of them.
I don't think it shows that we have turned the page or made any fundamental changes that are sufficient. The inappropriate use of involuntary psychiatric examination on children or adults for that matter.
And this session, lawmakers also took up the Baker Act issue, passing a number of reforms that gets parents involved before a student is Baker Acted and makes school districts more accountable for when a student is Baker Acted on campus. Katie LeGrone, WPTV.
A 43-year-old woman is seriously injured after being bitten by a 7.5-foot alligator in Pinellas County. It happened yesterday afternoon while she was walking her dog. Ricky Fowler came up just short, one roll of the ball in his last shot at another major when the Jupiter resident failed to get through U.S. Open qualifying on Tuesday. Fowler had 5 holes to play in the morning of the rain-delayed qualifier at Brookside in the Lakes, and he needed 3 birdies. From over the back of the 18th green, his chip was about a full turn short before peeling away to the right. That left him 1 shot out of the 5-for-4 playoff for the remaining spots to the U.S. Open next week at Torrey Pines in San Diego. News time is 6:52, and we'll have weather and traffic together next.
.654 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie, what do we have?
Some smoke in the area is what we're having. Well, actually in the Jupiter area this morning, down in that area on Southeast Federal Highway, like off of US 1, there's a prescribed burn going on. So some smoky visibility issues at this time are down that way. Use caution. Otherwise, we're not finding any traffic accidents. And there's your latest look at traffic. In Stewart, it's 77 this morning, and in Somerville, Massachusetts, a nice 73. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Happy Wednesday to you. Today's forecast, mostly sunny skies, hot and humid, high temperatures in the upper 80s. Feels like temperature in the low to mid 90s and slim rain chances. More of the same with a lot of sunshine and dry weather through Friday. Then we'll finally increase rain chances as we go into the weekend and next week as we set up a stormier weather pattern. I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist James Wieland on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world, it's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Thank you very much, Madam Announcer. It is June the 9th, 2021. It is Hump Day.
I'll bet you don't know about this.
Well, I don't know. I may know about it, and I may not know about it.
I'm so excited.
I'm glad you're excited, because I'm excited that you're excited that I'm excited.
I'm being artistic, just not on this show.
Well, we have to be artistic on this show, because that's the only thing we can seem to do right. 7:08 this morning. Mr. Clock, would you verify the time?
It's now 7:08 a.m.
7:08 a.m. on a wild and Wednesday program, and we're talking about sour candy last hour.
Yeah.
Which turned into a whole nother topic.
It sure did.
Ooh.
I mean, sour candy, because Phil's going to be with us tomorrow.
Mhm.
And usually Phil likes to bring in some food and do that taste test.
Yeah, he's bringing food in, and he's bringing stuff in for you, Bonnie. He's already told me.
Oh, I hope it's not any.
It's nothing hot and spicy.
Doggy treats.
Nope.
Maybe
nope,
cat treats.
Nothing absurd. Nothing bad. I promise you, it's normal, everyday stuff.
Was it the last time he was with us? He had like one of the hottest chips that were available.
Yeah, and he ate
right?
2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and he turned about as red as a tomato.
I'm surprised that he could eat that many. Phil, it's like I ate half a chip sitting right here, and then Phil kept going, and I thought he was going to like eat the whole bag.
Yeah.
His face turns red, but I'm like, how can he do that?
He's a trooper. He loves stuff like that. He loves punishment.
Yeah.
He loves punishment.
Maybe I should bring in some milk or some sour milk, the buttermilk.
I don't know
tomorrow.
where we would keep it ice cold, though, because we don't have a darn fridge here. Maybe somebody wants to donate a refrigerator to the morning show.
Actually,
A mini fridge.
I brought in a little, my little mini cooler, I call it this morning. I have it out in my truck this morning because, I'm staying a little bit later. So I have some lasagna on a couple of ice blocks in there.
What?
You ever get those ice blocks?
Are you going to
that
heat
you
it
put
up
in your
here?
freezer? Yes.
Are you really? You should have just brought it in here instead of left it out in the warm vehicle, because then now everything's going to melt.
No, I have the ice blocks, those little ice packs that you can buy, and you keep them in your freezer.
Oh, okay.
And then you put them in your little baggie or your little cooler, and it really keeps your items nice and cool.
Lasagna.
Yes.
Man, I'm going to go break into your car.
And, I think I left it out there because I have that whole hour in between this morning, and I needed a reason to, just walk outside and get my lasagna.
Oh, so you're going to eat lasagna between 9 and 10.
Yes.
Oh.
That's the plan.
Man.
Is that sinful?
Yeah, it is. Because I'm going to be like sitting right next to you and staring at you while your mouth waters over this lasagna.
Yeah.
While I eat a Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart.
Yeah, Pop-Tart.
Well,
I brought a Pop-Tart for breakfast, and you bring lasagna.
Here's something you could try. I brought some extra mozzarella cheese, so we could put a little bit of mozzarella on your Pop-Tart, and
that's just not right.
Spice it up a little bit for you.
That's not happening. I can tell you what is happening: birthdays and anniversaries. Mozzarella cheese on a cookies and cream Pop-Tart. Bonnie.
That's just not right, is it?
No, it's not.
That's just silly.
That's like putting ketchup on peanut butter. That's not right either.
That's a wickedly bad combination.
I'm sure people have done that before, though.
But Phil's probably out there listening to this, and he's like, "Yeah, bring it on." Try
All right,
me.
well, bring some peanut butter and ketchup in tomorrow. We'll try that too on the taste test.
Phil probably would do it.
What do you got for me this morning for birthdays, Bonnie? Anything?
Nobody to wish a happy birthday to.
No.
But,
Okay.
if you're having a birthday, I kind of envy you because you get to have birthday cake and blow out the candles today.
Yeah, and we get to eat Pop-Tarts and lasagna. Logan Browning is 32. That's the star of the Netflix show Dear White People. May Whitman is 33. Annie Marks on The Good Girls. Natalie Portman. I know that name.
Oh, yeah.
She's 40. That's Jane Foster in the Thor movies.
Oh, yeah. And I saw her as She plays in my favorite movie. I think my favorite movie is like Heat. Of this movie with Robert De Niro and Val Kilmer and the boys, and she plays the little girl in that movie, a young girl in that movie, probably one of her first roles.
Matthew Bellamy's 43. That's the lead singer and songwriter for the group Muse.
Muse.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say the Bellamy Brothers.
No, I thought so too. When I read it, I was like, because I love the Bellamy Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
And my favorite song they do is Let Your Love Flow.
That's a good song.
I love that song.
That song always makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Teddy Brucey is 48 years old today. That's the former New England Patriots linebacker who now works for ESPN. Johnny Depp is 58 years old today.
58 he is?
58. Johnny Depp is 58. Michael J. Fox is 60. Real name is Michael Andrew Fox.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
He didn't want his stage name to be Michael A. Fox because as a Canadian, he thought people would say the A, like eh.
A?
Yeah.
A?
So he picked J instead. It doesn't stand for anything.
Oh, is that why he did it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I forget that he was from Canada.
Yeah.
That's right.
The college basketball announcer Dick Vitale is 82 years old today. Oh, man. This next person is 87 years old today. 87 years old today. I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Quack, quack.
Donald Duck?
87 years
Oh,
old
yeah?
today. Yeah, Jackie Mason.
Oh, wow.
Jackie Mason is 90 years old today. Jackie Mason. Hello there. Jackie Mason. Did I do good?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, indeed.
He's the old school Jewish comedian.
Yep.
Celebrating birthdays in the heavens. Jackie Wilson passed away in 1984, celebrating a birthday today. He's the R&B soul legend. The inventor of the Les Paul guitar, responsible for overdubbed vocals and the electric guitar. Les Paul, celebrating a birthday today, passed away in 2009.
Oh, uh-huh.
Wow.
Wow, yeah. Les Paul.
Les Paul. Les Paul makes a great guitar.
Yeah. Do you have one?
No.
Do you play it?
Gavin has a Fender, acoustic electric.
Yes.
Les Pauls are very cool. I prefer the Stratocaster over the Les Paul. That's just me personally.
Where do they have Guitar Center here?
Yep. St. Lucie West.
That one is called Guitar Center
Yep.
too?
Mhm. You can go in there
okay.
all day long and look at guitars.
Because I was wondering, I knew there was one over there, but I didn't know if it was still there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been there. It's not going anywhere. It's an anchor store.
Like Plato's Closet was there for a while, right by it.
Was.
I don't think Plato's Closet is there anymore.
No, I
in
think
that
they
location.
they went to another closet.
I know they're still. I'm pretty sure though they're still open to US 1 and Jensen Beach
Yes.
Boulevard.
Yes, you are correct. Right,
Over-
you are, young Skywalker.
Over where Revolution Hair used to be.
Yes.
all of these used to be's.
Used
But
to be's.
Now at Guitar Center, can you go in there and like say purchase radio equipment like microphones?
Yeah,
and-
they have all that stuff.
Oh,
there.
they have it there, huh?
When they're by headphones,
Yeah. Oh, good.
microphones, processors, studio monitor speakers,
Oh, yeah.
software, everything that you need to complete your radio studio
I'm glad it's there. I
is
got
at
to
Guitar
go
Center.
over there
There you go.
because I went to the Sweetwater website too
Mhm.
for microphones.
Right.
And some of those microphones do look sweet.
I would suggest getting the RE, either the RE20, the RE27, or the EV320, which is the one that I have. Now, I don't think they sell those. You'd have to go to Broadcast Supply Warehouse to get those.
So RE20 or
Yeah, the
RE27.
RE20 or RE27 or the RE320. That's the black one. That's the one that I have in my studio at home.
Mhm. I saw black ones. I saw bright, shiny gold ones.
Yep.
Even a red one on there
Now, don't go buying a
Ooh.
microphone just because of the color.
because it's pretty.
Yeah, don't buy it because it's pretty, because it could sound pretty crappy. So don't be doing
And that
that.
would be pretty, right?
That would not be pretty. Today is officially National Donald Duck Day. National Donald Duck Day. So everybody that's listening, you need to quack quack one time.
Oh, you can go out and do that right with those ducks over in Palm City that
Yep.
everybody loves.
Yep.
They just go on out there and quack and prance and dance along with the ducks.
Yep.
But don't feed them any crappy food.
Exactly. Father's Day is upon us. It's 11 days away. 11 days away.
What you
for
gonna
Father's
do?
Day.
You got anything special?
You know what? I don't even know if we have a game at the stadium. Let me look. Let's see here. Let me get my calendar out.
So 11 days away. That means it's got to be a week from Sunday.
It's a
then,
week from
right?
Sunday.
Great.
That would be on the 20th.
Yes.
And the team is out of town that week. So that means I have no game on June the 20th.
So your Father's Day is going to be nice and bright and wide open.
My Father's Day is going to be awesome because I want to have all my children around me for Father's Day. I think that would be nice.
And it's not too late to make that happen. We're early in it enough.
The hardest one to get to come up is the one that lives in Miami. That's the toughest one.
Yeah.
That's the hardest
He might be working and such. Well, maybe not. He shouldn't be working on Father's Day, but
No.
I mean, he might be working the following day.
No,
And
my oldest son now, he'll celebrate Father's Day with his wife and their little boy.
Little Ashton.
Yeah, little Ashton.
Nice.
Yes, little Ashton.
Yeah.
Let me see here. What else? Independence Day's in 25 days. 25 days.
Wow.
June 9th, on this day in history, back in the day, 231 years ago today, Bonnie, back in 1790. 1790. Can you imagine what it was like to live in 1790?
That's why I've always wanted a time machine. So you could go back and just see how it was.
The first book was copyrighted in the United States. John Barry's Philadelphia Spelling Book was copyrighted in 1790, 231 years ago today.
Oh, how cool. So a spelling book had the first copyright.
Yep, exactly.
Was spelling book for little kids learning to spell or wow.
In 1934, Donald Duck made his debut in Disney's The Little Wise Hen. He wasn't wearing pants then, and he still isn't wearing them now.
Mhm.
So he still goes around bottomless. Could you imagine? That's not a pretty sight.
Wow.
Donald Duck naked from the waist down.
I don't know.
That's not good.
Might be prettier than others though.
Yeah. Yeah. In 1973, Secretariat won the Belmont Stakes to become the first Triple Crown winner in 25 years. Secretariat.
Oh yeah, Secretariat. That was 2 years ago that horse won, right?
No, that was 48 years ago.
Oh yeah. What am I saying?
48 years ago, in 1973, Secretariat won the Belmont Stakes to become the very first Triple Crown winner.
The first Triple Crown.
Right, in 25 years.
Mhm.
41 years ago today, in 1980, Richard Pryor suffered third-degree burns over most of his body while freebasing cocaine. Not exactly a smart thing to do.
No.
Not exactly a smart thing to do.
No. And wow, burns. Boy,
this
burning
next
your
one,
body and
yeah. This next one hits home because in 2017, Adam West, the Batman star, lost his battle with leukemia at the age of 88 years old.
Mhm.
Wow.
Adam West, he lived a great long life, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. 88. Wow, sliding down the bat pole for 88 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow, that is something.
To the Batmobile.
He
Let's
had
go.
Leukemia. then?
Leukemia.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And 4 years ago, also in 2017, Gene Simmons attempted to trademark his devil horns hand gesture, even though it's also used in American Sign Language as the sign for I love you. He later abandoned his explanation
At least he tried.
or application. I'm sorry.
Yeah. At least he tried.
He
you know.
tried, but
Yeah.
it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
So that's your birthdays and anniversaries for today, June the 9th, 2021. 7:21 right now. Time for news, all brought to you by Florida Blue, your local Blue Cross Blue Shield, helping families take control of their health for more than 75 years. Bonnie is standing by with the morning headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. A construction worker died after he fell through the roof at a Stewart Fire Rescue Station. Stewart police said the man was 27, said police spokesman Sergeant Brian Bosio. He did not release his name, saying the man's family hadn't been notified. A contracting company was doing roof work at Fire Rescue Station 2, Bosio said. One of the contractors fell through the roof, through the ceiling into one of the fire station bays. The station is at 1100 Southeast Monterey Extension. It happened around Bosio said another worker ran to alert medics at the fire rescue station, who immediately rendered aid to the fallen worker. They ran out, treated him, and immediately transported him to Lawnwood Regional Medical Center and Heart Institute in Fort Pierce, where he was pronounced dead, according to Bosio. Stewart police are investigating the incident, and no other information was available as of Tuesday evening. The fight to stop Brightline from traveling through Indian River County is over. County leaders have agreed to drop a lawsuit against the rail company. As part of an agreement, Brightline would pay $31 million to make safety upgrades to more than 30 crossings. The county spent millions fighting Brightline and even tried to take its lawsuit to the Supreme Court of the United States. Elected officials, police, and community leaders in South Florida are ready to tackle an uptick in gun violence. Miami-Dade County Commissioner Chair Jose Pepe Diaz says the Peace and Prosperity Plan, approved unanimously, addresses the problem from every possible angle.
From the criminal side directly, and engagement with our police department, to the mentoring, to helping create jobs for our children, which is our future of our community.
President Biden is saluting the seniors of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. He spoke virtually during yesterday's graduation ceremony.
3 years ago, your lives and the lives of this community changed in an instant. And this class lost a piece of its soul. You've been tested in ways no young person should ever have to face.
9 members of the class of 2021 were killed 3 years ago in the mass shooting on the Parkland campus. Lastly, a coalition of 16 environmental groups and businesses Tuesday urging Florida's governor to declare a state of emergency to help restore the Indian River Lagoon, ground zero for this year's record manatee die-off because of seagrass loss. The 4 businesses and 12 environmental nonprofits likely won't get what they want, however. A state of emergency is not necessary at this time, a state official said on Tuesday, confirming what the governor previously has said. The state is using its resources to respond to the crisis with the help of local governments and citizen organizations. Deanne Miller, spokesperson for the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, shared statement. The coalition said urgent action is needed to restore the lagoon. The St. Lucie Mets pounded out 17 hits and blasted the Palm Beach Cardinals 12-6 at Clover Park on Tuesday. All 9 players in the Mets lineup had a hit. Warren Saunders led the way, going 4 for 5 and smashing his first home run of the year. Good for Warren. Brandon Fryman went 3 for 4 with a walk, RBI, 1 run scored, and 2 stolen bases. Alex Ramirez, Joe Suzy, and Jalen Palmer had 2 hits apiece. Palmer stole 2 bases. 25, and we'll have weather and traffic together next.
$7:26 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather.
Just keep in mind on US 1, just off Federal Highway down by Jupiter, there's a prescribed burn going on in that. So use some caution in that area this morning. Drive safely. There's your latest look at traffic. And Port St. Lucie has 75 in Karlsham, Sweden this morning. It's partly cloudy and 71. Here's a look at our forecast at WPTV.
Happy Wednesday to you. Today's forecast, mostly sunny skies, hot and humid, high temperatures in the upper 80s. Temperature in the low to mid 90s and slim rain chances. More of the same with a lot of sunshine and dry weather through Friday. Then we'll finally increase rain chances as we go into the weekend and next week as we set up a stormier weather pattern. I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist James Wheeland on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Do you have a suggestion for the show? Send us an email, WSTU morningshow@gmail.com. And now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
This is not headline news. Johnny Depp turns 58 today. If you want to get him something, go with anything but a script from another Pirates of the Caribbean sequel. Donald Duck turns 87 today. And now, finally, the no pants thing makes sense. Martial arts legend Donnie Yen joined the cast of John Wick 4. He's never acted before, but then neither has Keanu Reeves. MIT engineers discovered a new way to generate electricity. Not to be outdone, students at Arizona State figured out a way to vape with their butts. And marijuana stores in Washington State are giving free joints to residents who get vaccinated. So great news for the 6 people in Washington who already aren't baked out of their skulls. This is not headline news.
And from not headline news, we go to the stupid stuff.
And now it's time for Stupid News,
It's so stupid and awesome.
where we ask the important questions.
Are some people too stupid to live?
Why are people so stupid?
Are you effing stupid?
So, each and every day at this time, Monday through Friday, we scour the globe for the most stupided news stories. Stupided. That's a word. Stupided.
Stupided.
We scour the globe for the most stupid news stories that are humanly possible out there, known to man and woman and dogs and cats alive. And we've got some doozies for you today. Some woman by the name of Carmen found out that her boyfriend was cheating. Okay, that's where we all go, So she broke up with him and blocked his number and blocked him on social media. Now, the guy always denied that he cheated and wanted to keep pleading his case, but he had no way to get in touch with Carmen because she blocked him everywhere. So he figured out a way to contact her through something that's called Netflix, the movie service.
Oh, right.
They were still sharing an account together. And Netflix allows up to 5 profiles that show up side by side when you launch the app. Bonnie, do you have Netflix?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so you know how it shows the profiles next to each other?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So what he did was he kept changing the names of each profile to write notes to her. And they're in Spanish. But the first one translates as, quote, "I swear I'm innocent." Then the next profile says, "I love you," and talks about her ignoring him. And the third profile says, "Please talk to me on WhatsApp." It's not clear if she ever called him, but it doesn't sound like she took him back.
Oh, but at least he tried, and he found out. He found kind of a nifty way to do it.
He did. That's original.
Yeah, and he tried any way he could, but he could have just driven up to her doorstep. No, maybe he didn't know where she lived.
No,
instead of going through the Netflix thing, and
she moved, changed her
and
number, blocked him on social media. She did everything.
he couldn't find her anywhere.
Nothing. So he resorted to Netflix, and what he did was he created these extra profiles. And when he created these extra profiles, he used the opportunity to make the profile name like a sentence to get messages to her. And they lined up next to each other. So that was pretty ingenious.
Yeah, it's either ingenious or an act of desperation.
Yeah. Let's go to Iowa, where a drunk driver was recently arrested last Sunday. But he caught an extra charge for a different sort of drinking problem. Around 6 o'clock in the morning, police got a report of a Ford Explorer that was parked in the middle of the road in the town of Little Rock, Iowa.
Isn't that what you drive? A Ford Explorer, Evan?
Yes, I drive a Ford Explorer.
Were you
2020.
in Little Rock, Iowa recently?
Can't say I've been there.
I've never been there either.
I don't even know where Little Rock, Iowa is. I know Little Rock, Arkansas, but not Little Rock, Iowa. Now, they found 38-year-old Benjamin Gray slumped over in his seat with his pants down around his thighs. Must have been reading a book written by Donald Duck or something. Now, he was obviously very drunk. His eyes were bloodshot, and he was slurring his speech. So, a police officer put him in his patrol car and then went back to search the vehicle. They ended up finding a small amount of marijuana and a glass pipe in the center console. So he's facing charges for drunk driving and drugs. But then the police went back to the patrol car, and it turned out that the guy had found an unopened can of Mountain Dew in the officer's cup holder, and he started to drink it. So they tacked on an additional 5th-degree theft charge
for
drinking
the
officer's Mountain Dew.
Just think if the officer had a box of donuts, he probably would have grabbed a donut too.
Yeah, that would have been another charge.
Yeah.
That would have been a 6th charge of 5th-degree theft.
They charged him for that?
They charged him. They added on an additional charge of 5th-degree theft because he took the officer's drink, Mountain Dew can, and he drank it.
Well,
now,
maybe his mouth was a little dry and he needed it.
Here's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Why, in God's name, did they put this guy in the patrol car without handcuffs on? Think about that. Why, if he was in handcuffs and the handcuffs were behind him, then there's no way that he could have reached that. Well, yeah, he could have reached it if he would have turned around and wiggled his way between the seats. But I'm not understanding this.
Is that a protocol where they would usually, I mean, I don't know what police officers always do, but where they would put the handcuffs upon sitting him down in the car?
Well, they should. Maybe Brian Bosio can answer that question.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a routine.
We'll have to call Brian and ask him.
Maybe the guy was so out of it, they thought he wouldn't even be using his hands in his arms. Maybe he seemed kind of out of it.
But again, the question is, how did he get the can of Mountain Dew? If in police cars these days, there's a cage that separates the front from the back. So I'm not understanding this all the way.
Yeah,
maybe we should call the police department in Little Rock, Iowa, and ask them about this story.
Yeah, he probably obviously didn't have his handcuffs on then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But very interesting there. Let's talk a little bit about weddings. It's the big wedding day, but right before the I do's, the bride just dies of a heart attack right on the spot. She's at the altar and she dies of a heart attack.
Oh my gosh.
So now you ask the question, what do we do? And this is over in India, by the way. Well, it actually happened in Uttar Pradesh, India, where a woman named Sarabhi and a man named Mangesh Kumar were planning to tie the knot in a Hindu ceremony on May the 27th. This is just recently. But during the Jamala, which is the exchanging of the garlands by the bride and the groom, Sarabhi collapsed on the spot. That's the bride.
Wow.
And was pronounced dead on the spot by a doctor.
Oh, that's very sad, right?
So, hey, let's just go get the sister, is what they said.
Oh,
yep.
Just the sister to step in?
Oh, no. Not just step in, to marry the groom.
Yeah. Yeah. Step in for the bride.
After the doctor pronounced the bride dead, the families of the bride and the groom agreed the bride's young sister, Nisha, would now wed the groom.
I'm surprised she didn't have a heart attack too.
Well, not that unusual over there, as an estimated 90% of Indian marriages, they're all arranged.
Arranged. Yeah. Yeah.
So the families decided to go ahead with the ceremony while the other bride's dead body just laid right there on the floor.
Doesn't that just seem so unacceptable?
Well,
And
this is in India.
that young lady, the bride intended to be, that suddenly passed away
Yeah.
at her own wedding.
Yeah.
I wonder if she died from just the stress of all the arrangement, and maybe she didn't even want to get married to this mister.
Well, we could say she was dying to get married,
Oh!
but that's a whole nother story.
It just makes me so glad that I'm really happy that I live in this great country that we
Right?
do, that where I've never had to be forced into an arranged marriage.
I mean, there are Indian, people that live here in the USA that are from India, that they do arranged marriages here in the United States.
It happens right here too?
Yes.
I did
Yes,
not
ma'am.
know that.
Oh, yes. There are arranged marriages here in the good old USA.
Man, I must be really sheltered, because Evan, I didn't even
No,
know
you're not
that.
sheltered. You're not sheltered at all.
Because
No.
I've never seen or heard of it happening.
I've actually DJ'd a few of those.
Yeah.
I have done a few of those arranged marriages.
And how do they usually seem? Do they, or can you say, do they seem?
I mean, they seem like normal everyday weddings.
Do they
You have a
seem
bride and a groom.
bride and groom seem happy?
all the chutzpah that goes with it. And it's like your normal wedding.
Did you ever do one where you thought you were thinking the bride or the groom, like one of them they don't seem right? Like maybe a little off?
I've done weddings before, and there's one story that stands out that happened down at I'm not going to mention names because you know what they say, the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh yeah, you can't disclose.
No,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you the story, and I can tell this story on the air. Many years ago down in Boca, I was doing a wedding at the Boca Raton Country Club. It's a bride and a groom, and the bride was completely schnockered. I'm talking so drunk that they had to hold her up. She was that drunk.
I think I saw that in a movie. I think the sister of Molly Ringwald did that in 16 Candles.
Mhm.
So I'm picturing this bride. Okay.
Yeah, she was so drunk they had to hold her up.
Wow.
So I'm performing the wedding ceremony. I was the minister for that also. And the bride goes through with the ceremony. They had to hold her up at the altar. And then it's time for the photos. And then it's time for the introductions of the bridal party into the main room along with the first dance. So they come in, we introduce them, they dance, yada, 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 etc., so on and so forth. So then after that's all done, it's time for the speeches. So you have the best man propose a toast.
Yes.
And then the maid of honor does her toast.
Uh-huh.
So when they're done doing their toast, I get a hold of the microphone and I say, all right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, dinner will now be served. So right as I say that, the bride stands up in like a drunken stupor and she says, I want to say something. Literally
Uh-oh.
like that.
Yeah. Did she grab the microphone from you?
She literally grabbed the microphone out of my hand.
And did she breathe in your face of
No.
that stinky drunken breath?
No.
No.
I was not going to argue with a drunk bride. So the bride speaks and she says, I have an announcement I want to make. So everybody thinks, oh, she's going to make the announcement. She's pregnant. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not the case. She turns to the maid of honor and asks the maid of honor to stand up. Maid of honor stands up and she says, I want everybody to know that blank blank is my lover and girlfriend.
Oh, no. Oh,
Then she
man.
proceeds
Oh.
to kiss with the maid of honor.
With everybody just in awe
With everybody, you could hear
and staring.
a pin drop.
Yeah.
Bonnie, this is no joke.
This is horrible. What a
You
horrible
could hear
day.
a pin drop. Everybody gasped. They all went, you could hear a pin drop.
Yes.
The groom yells and kicks the bride and the maid of honor out of the wedding.
Ooh. Did he like strong arm them and take them both by the arm?
He
and,
comes to
and drag
me.
them out of there?
He comes to me and he asks me for the marriage license
Yeah.
after I signed it.
Did he tell you to rip it up?
Oh, no. He ripped it up.
Oh, he did it himself.
Oh, yeah. He ripped it up.
Wow.
Ripped up the marriage license.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, what would you like me to do? He goes, well, I paid for you. Oh, no, let me take that back. The bride's father paid for you. Everything else is paid for. So I guess let's just have a party.
Just have a party out of it.
So that's what they did.
Yeah.
They all got drunk and they had a party.
I'm sure he got very drunk.
Then a couple of years later, I get a call from the groom. Asked me to DJ his wedding. Again, guess who he's marrying?
The maid of honor?
One of the bridesmaids.
One of the bridesmaids, but not the bridesmaid.
Not the maid of honor.
The one. Okay.
That the bride was in
But
cahoots with.
so it turned out. It turned out all right for him then.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
it turned out pretty good. You wind
Yeah.
up with a bridesmaid
Hey.
instead of a bride.
Yeah.
So there you go.
At least it had a happy ending for
was a
him.
great- that was a great
because
story.
That is a great story.
And
I
that's
mean,
that's true story happened
that
many,
must have
many, many
been
years ago.
one of the most interesting that you have seen
That
or
is
witnessed.
the most interesting wedding I have ever done in my entire 40 years of being in this business.
a wedding that everybody will soon not forget.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Wedding bells for them. So they
Yes.
are still married to this day.
I'm glad it turned out for the groom
Yes.
then. I'm
Yes.
so glad it
It
did.
worked out good.
And I wonder if we can get a follow up on the bride and the maid of honor.
I care not to know what's going on with them. I don't want to
Come on,
know.
Go dig into it now.
It's not that
we want to hear more juice.
No, it's not that I'm against same-sex marriage.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all for it. I support it. But that's just one couple I care not to know about.
Okay.
That's just my personal choice after that happened that day.
That's an interesting one, Evan.
Yeah. Definitely. Details at 11. Speaking of details, it's time for news right now. 746 on the Get Up and Go show. It's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. For the best deals in town on any type of precious metals, it's always St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Bonnie is standing by with the morning headlines. Good morning, Miss Bonnie.
And good morning once again. A team of brave and dedicated Martin County Marine deputies rescued a pair of boaters over the weekend after an accident left them adrift and alone in dangerous waters off the Treasure Coast. WPTV's John Shaman has the story.
Nice. Big shark.
Martin County Marine Deputy Mike Joseph has been patrolling these waters for years. He knows the area's trickiest spots.
At the beginning of our shift, a lot of the guys will come out here and check the sea state, just see what we're dealing with for the day.
Sunday, lifeguards at Bathtub Beach saw a boat drifting toward the reef. They made it on board and found 2 IDs and other personal belongings, so they called the sheriff's office.
All it takes is one wrong wave, and then you're in the water.
It turns out a woman on board had fallen in the inlet. The other person killed the engine and jumped in, but when he got to her, the boat was too far away, and they were at the mercy of the current.
Out into the ocean, and then it pulled them to the north.
Based on their knowledge of the area, Deputy Joseph and the other rescuers had an idea of where they could be.
We looked in the water, and we saw a head bobbing in between the breaking waves.
They also heard the cries for help.
For us to hear it, I would say 200-300 yards away, it carried well. They were struggling, treading water. I believe they're in the water for over 30 minutes. They were visibly tired and shaken.
We reached out to the couple that was rescued, but they didn't want to share their part of the story. Deputy Joseph says neither boater was wearing a life jacket, but there were jackets on the boat, so no citation was issued.
Dangerous, especially with the water being like that. I mean, at any time in a smaller vessel like they were in, you could take one over the front, you could swamp the vessel, and you could obviously fall overboard.
Joseph says this wasn't his first rescue, and it probably won't be his last.
It's always a good day, like I said, when we can do this and help people out. I mean, that's why I do it.
In Martin County, John Shaman, WPTV, News Channel 5.
A construction worker died after he fell through the roof at a Stewart Fire Rescue Station. Stewart police said the man was 27, said police spokesman Sergeant Brian Basio. He did not release his name, saying the man's family hadn't been notified. A contracting company was doing roof work at Fire Rescue Station 2, according to Basio. One of the contractors fell through the roof, through the ceiling, into one of the fire station bays. The station is at 1100 Southeast Monterey Extension. It happened around 1:30 p.m. Basio said another worker ran to alert medics at the fire rescue station, who immediately rendered aid to the fallen worker. They ran out, treated him, and immediately transported him to Lawnwood Regional Medical Center and Heart Institute in Fort Pierce, where he was pronounced dead, Basio said. Stewart police are investigating the incident. No other information was available as of Tuesday evening. For the first time, the number of Baker Act exams in Florida decreased. WPTV's Contact 5 investigative reporter Katie Legrone explains why.
For the first time, the number of exams is down in Florida. That's according to USF's Center for Baker Act Reporting, which tracks the number of involuntary mental health exams done under the state's Baker Act law. The center exclusively revealing to us early numbers which show last fiscal year, the statewide total of involuntary psychiatric exams decreased by nearly 4% from the year prior. The largest drop, kids under 18, which has historically been trending up in Baker Act exams. 5 years old committed under the state Baker Act law. According to the latest data, between 2019 and 2020, Florida logged nearly 36,000 Baker Act exams for kids, a decrease of more than 5% from the previous year.
We need to reduce that number by much, much more.
But during a year dominated by shutdowns, school closures, and distance learning, Sam Boyd, senior attorney with the Southern Poverty Law Center, believes the Baker Act drop is more reflective of the pandemic than any fundamental change in how Baker Acts are used here.
We don't see any other policy changes that could explain it other than the fact that folks are staying home because of the pandemic.
In March, the advocacy group released this report criticizing the state for overusing, even abusing the Baker Act, pointing blame at school districts, including Palm Beach County. But more state funding focused on improving mental health on campus has some school districts seen major drops in Baker Acted students. They say the pandemic cannot fully explain.
The Baker Act isn't a punishment.
In Orange County, in the last 3 years, the number of students Baker acted in the district has dropped from 542 to 104 this year.
Do you think that the pandemic also played a role in the numbers?
Sure, I think that would definitely have some impact on the numbers early in the fall when so many kids were.
But for the past few years, the district, like many, has made mental health a focus, using state funding from the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Act to pump up its mental health staff on campus. By fall, each school in the district will have a school counselor and social worker to help kids in crisis.
It gives us more resources to do that without resorting all the way to Baker.
After a year consumed by a global health crisis, it's too early to tell if the recent drop in Baker Acts in Florida is sustainable or just another anomaly during a year full of them.
I don't think it shows that we have turned the page or made any fundamental changes that are sufficient to start reducing the inappropriate use of involuntary psychiatric examination on children or adults for that matter.
And this session, lawmakers also took up the Baker Act issue, passing a number of reforms that gets parents involved before a student is Baker Acted and makes school districts more accountable for when a student is Baker Acted on campus. Katie LeGrone, WPTV News Channel 5.
Our news time, 7:53. We'll take a quick look at sports. Aaron Rodgers, he failed to show up for Packers minicamp. He can be fined $93,000 for missing it. He also gave up a $500,000 bonus by not showing up for mandatory workouts. This is the first time in his 16-year career that he's been a holdout. And Packers coach Matt LaFleur says, quote, "It is what it is, man. We'll focus and we'll control and work on the guys that are here and try to help them become the best to their ability and coach the heck out of them." News time is 7:53, and we'll have weather and traffic together next.
$7:55 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie, what do you got?
Well, we are not finding any accidents to report this morning. Wednesday looking good on the roads, US 1 included. Major highways north and southbound are clear right here at the moment. There's your latest look at traffic. We're up to 79 in Stuart. In High Point, North Carolina, it's 70. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Happy Wednesday to you. Today's forecast, mostly sunny skies, hot and humid, high temperatures in the upper 80s. Feels like temperature in the low to mid 90s and slim rain chances. More of the same with a lot of sunshine and dry weather through Friday. Then we'll finally increase rain chances as we go into the weekend and next week as we set up a stormier weather pattern. I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist James Wieland on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world. It's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Announcer. As always, you are always a top-notch announcer, I must say.
Get the show on the road.
All right, we'll get the show on the road.
What is this?
Well, this is Evan. That is Bonnie, and we are a married couple married to each other on the radio.
I am ready to be back on the air. I am bursting with all new provocative takes on things.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're bursting with provocative takes on things, without a doubt. Time is 8:08. Mr. Clock, would you please verify that?
It's now 8:08 a.m.
And let me just clarify one thing. We are not legally married. We are just work wife and husband. That's all we are.
I almost started to giggle because some first-time listeners would think, wow, this is a radio show where they're legally married.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're not legally married. I have my wife, Rachel. She has her better half, Gary. And, of course, Taryn Krista is on the line with us as well. So, Taryn, I guess you're our married guest to the show, right? Because you're married to the show every week.
I am, but I'm also married in my personal life. So in my professional life, I'm married to my work, I think.
There you go. We're all married to our jobs. That's the way it works.
And you got to be fair and give them all equal amounts of time.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes one takes more over another, and that's where you got to find that balance.
This is very, very, very true. I will say that much.
Ya.
So how has your week been since we talked to you last?
Good. We had a meeting yesterday. It was a short meeting, but we didn't have a whole lot on our agenda. We're expecting our agenda to be a little bit fuller later in this month. I think, some folks with the holiday, Memorial Day, and different things, for whatever reason, our agenda was light.
Right.
But we did have a really good presentation on the inlet and our, looking at why we dredge the inlet and why that's important and how the inlet is structured in such a way to alleviate, that shoaling that comes in where the sand comes in and wants to create dangerous situations. The inlet's a difficult inlet to get in and out of as it is without all the sandbars or various areas where the sand piles up. So we want to keep it as navigable as possible. It's the fishing industry is a huge industry for us, as well as the boat building industry here in Martin County. So making it deep enough that those large vessels can get in and out and do their thing is really important. So it was a really good presentation that we had. And so, like I said, it was a short. Did a lot, and yesterday was our last meeting that we were going to have folks participate by Zoom. So we're eliminating that for in our future. So if you want to be present before the board or come during public comment, you have to come in person.
Taryn, are you seeing things getting back to somewhat of normality down at your offices and around town? I'm noticing that more and more each day as I'm out and about. I went out to lunch yesterday and I noticed that really hardly anybody was wearing a mask. The staff I'm talking about, a lot of places that I go into, I notice hardly anybody wearing a mask anymore. And it's a huge sense of some form of normality now.
Well, I am noticing, so when I go out, like for lunch or whatever, I am noticing the wait staff still wear masks. So, and I think that, I don't know how much of that probably is just the owners just trying to make sure that their patrons are comfortable would be my guess.
Right.
But I as we've talked about it before, here in our offices, people are just more aware. I mean, you don't see not that we were all clustering around each other all the time, but when you're having conversations, I've noticed when there's 4 or 5 folks having a conversation, they're kind of spaced out. And I don't know if I think that's just what they've come to find is their normal. It's just interesting to watch the dynamics.
It's become a habit now. And I am noticing that too. When I talk to different people as well, I find myself standing farther away from somebody than I used to when I would talk to them face to face. And I guess that's the new normal that's going on.
Which really isn't bad. You know, I mean, I was even thinking about on the way in today. We still have in our lobby, we still have an area marked off so that folks aren't walking right up to where the guard's desk is. But we have the plexiglass. So I was thinking, you know, is that still necessary to have that barrier, if you will? Because I don't know, you know, with the plexiglass there, that they're not going to get up that close anyways. You know, they're handing you their driver's license, and there's an arm's length. Anyhow, you know, I mean, so I was just thinking, it's funny that you should ask, because I was just thinking about that this morning.
You know what? In my workplace too, in Palm City, now we as employees no longer are required to wear our masks. We can,
oh, you must be loving that now, Bonnie.
You know, actually, just using a little bit of common sense, and since I didn't get vaccinated, I kind of got used to wearing the mask anyway. I will still wear it with clients and meeting clients. So, yeah, but they're kind of like leaving it up to us, and our patrons that come in, they're not required to wear the mask right now, and no longer are we. But like I said, because I didn't get vaccinated, and I might be asked by a client, somebody that I'm doing massage on, that, you know, hey, have you been vaccinated? And I'm not going to lie about it either. So I just wear the mask. But yeah, our mask rule has lifted there too.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Bonnie, not everybody's conscientious like you are.
Yeah, I mean that, and that's being respectful.
Yeah.
And that's props to you for being respectful like that in that way.
Yeah, and
because it makes your customer on the table feel more comfortable.
Yeah, I'm hoping that more people are honest too, and you know, just use a little common sense. I do have the faith in people. I'm keeping up the faith.
We're gonna have to call Bonnie Pollyanna.
Pollyanna? Why Pollyanna?
Because she's thinking that people are, you know, the behaviors are going to really change.
Yeah.
Like for a little while there, we had people being nice to each other, and even as far as in traffic lines, but that's gone away.
Like I wear rose-colored glasses, like Sally Jesse Raphael. I'll wear some rose-colored glasses tomorrow on the air, Evan.
That'll work. I was on that. I was actually on that show, Bonnie.
Yeah, Evan was on.
I was on the Sally show.
Oh wow!
Yeah, eons ago with my ex-wife. The topic was married spouses that are angry at or spouses that are married that are angry at their other spouse because they flirt in the workplace. So that was the topic, and of course, I got thrown under the bus because of what I do in my other life as an entertainer and a DJ. I talk to a lot of females, so. Well, you know, look at it this way. I got a free trip to California to tape a TV show, got paid for it, and I wound up getting her
divorced.
Well, no, I wound up actually getting her pregnant, and we had twins.
Wow.
So that's where the twins were conceived, in California, and now here I am. My twins are now 29 years old.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the episode's out there. It's on the internet. So if you go to try to find it, it's out there somewhere.
Did they pay you like something to go on?
Yeah, we got reimbursed for our time to be out there.
Time and the trip.
Yeah, we got reimbursed. We got airfare, hotel, food, limousine, the whole 9 yards.
Wow, you're famous. More famous than I had realized.
Well, no, not really. I'm just a normal kind of guy, you know, just trying to eke out a meager living. That's all. So what's been going on otherwise in the with Martin?
Well, we
Martin
got
County?
the Lionfish tournament coming up here in a couple of weeks. It's going to take place on June 19th. That'll be our 10th annual. So if there's any divers out there that are interested and would like to become part of the fun, they do a great job with it. So you can go on our website, and it'll be going out of the Jupiter Point Marina, which is down there close to County Line Road.
Alice
June
Price
19th.
is going to be here actually in studio with us tomorrow.
April Price.
Or April. I'm sorry, April Price.
She's like a firecracker when she comes in. We love her.
Oh, she's like the plant lady, huh?
Oh, she's
a firecracker.
She's terrific. I mean, you're not going to have a moment of silent airtime when you talk to April.
Really?
Because she's a great spokesperson. She's full of information.
So I could ask her one question, let her go. walk out to my car, go get breakfast,
Yeah.
come back, and she'll still be talking.
You probably could do that. She's very,
Okay,
very good.
that's
She's
all right.
excellent.
That's okay. That'll work for me.
Well, well, it sounds like you guys got a full plate for tomorrow too. Then.
Yeah, definitely. We're
Yeah,
excited
so
about
we
that.
just have, if people want to go on our website, we've got information on there about the mosquitoes. This is mosquito season. We've got hurricane preparedness. We've
Mhm.
got our app that we've talked about, the Connect Martin app that you
Mhm.
can download.
Mhm.
You know, if you're going to the beach, just be conscientious with these high winds, a little bit windier than normal. There's some rip currents, swim near the lifeguards, and stay safe. And, you know, kids are out of school now. So there's we're in that summer mode. The Sailfish Splash Park is open.
Mhm.
So if folks are looking for things to do, that's always another avenue.
That's a great place, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Sailfish Splash. I've been there a couple of times, and you know, I honestly think that's the best bang for the buck. I mean, it's inexpensive, it's affordable, and it's a great time.
Yeah, the kids love it. At least, you know, when I've taken my grandkids there, they've seemed to have enjoyed it. So it's just something that's here, right here in Martin County, and something you can do. And we've got plenty of parks and beach areas and all kinds of things. So if folks are bored this summer, it's their own fault.
Exactly. People don't realize that how much there is to do. Even though Martin County is not a large county, there's a lot to do in Martin County,
There's a lot
Taryn,
to
isn't
do.
there?
There's a lot to do.
I mean, you got the beaches, you have places to go, sightseeing. You've got downtown Stewart, which is a great place to go. You could spend all day in downtown Stewart just taking in all the sights that are down there and everything.
Oh, yeah. The river walk, the boardwalk goes all the way around, and you can go from one side to the other, and you can have lots of places to eat down on the water. It's perfect.
Great little shops.
Yeah, great place for shopping too.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yep.
so. That's Martin County Administrator Taryn Krizda. She's on the program each and every Wednesday with us at this time to give us an update on all things pertaining to Martin County.
Y'all
Taryn,
have a great week.
you too, and enjoy
You
your
also.
week as well, Taryn. Thanks so much for
Thanks.
being here.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. It's time for the Precious Metals Report. It's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold opening up at $1,889 an ounce, and silver opening up at $27.63 an ounce. That's the Precious Metals Report, and it's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Eight 8:21 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's the Wednesday edition. It's time for news, all brought to you by Florida Blue, your local Blue Cross Blue Shield, helping families take control of their health for more than 75 years. Bonnie's at the news desk with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. President Biden is saluting the seniors of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. He spoke virtually during yesterday's graduation ceremony.
3 years ago, your lives and the lives of this community changed in an instant. And this class lost a piece of its soul. You've been tested in ways no young person should ever have to face.
9 members of the class of 2021 were killed 3 years ago in the mass shooting on the Parkland campus. A jury awarded $40 million to the father of a man who died in 2014 after being struck by a motorist in Palm City who left the scene after driving drunk, according to an attorney in court records. John David White and his former Key Lime Cafe Incorporated were ordered by Circuit Judge Gary Sweet on Monday to pay a total of $40 million. $30 million in compensatory and $10 million in punitive damages after the February 2014 death of 27-year-old Philip Harvey Jr. White, now 46, was sentenced in 2015 to 25 years in prison after the incident in which his Acura crashed into the back of a Hyundai on Southwest Martin Downs Boulevard at the light at Southwest Map Road. White, who was found to have left the scene after the crash, is scheduled to be released in 2037. Attorney Diego Asensio, based in Palm Beach County, filed the wrongful death lawsuit and said the $40 million judgment is the largest he has realized since he began practicing in 1982. Philip Harvey Sr., the father of the deceased, is named as the representative of his estate. Mr. Harvey wanted a legal verdict. He wanted an appropriate verdict, a reasonable verdict, Asensio said on Monday. Asked the jury to award a minimum of $27 million, which they raised to $30 million, and the jury also awarded $10 million in punitive damages. It is always the discretion of the jury whether to punish somebody and how much, Asensio has said. Former Florida Department of Health data analyst Rebecca Jones is running for Congress. Jones, who was fired in a controversy over COVID-19 data, announced on Instagram that she would run against Panhandle Republican Matt Gaetz. Elected officials, police, and community leaders in South Florida are ready to tackle an uptick in gun violence. Miami-Dade County Commission Chair Jose Pepe Diaz says the Peace and Prosperity Plan, approved unanimously, addresses the problem from every possible angle. The enforcement angle, Operation Summer Heat, has already led to 150 arrests since Friday. A 43-year-old woman is seriously injured after being bitten by a 7.5-foot alligator in Pinellas County. It happened yesterday afternoon while she was walking her dog. Our news time is 8:24. We take a look at sports. The defending champion Tampa Bay Lightning are heading back to the Stanley Cup semifinals.
Time winds down. Pilato on the far boards gives it to Slavin, and it's over. Another shutout for Andrei Vasilevsky in a series-clinching victory.
That's how it sounded on Lightning Radio as Tampa Bay picked up a 2-0 win over Carolina to eliminate the Hurricanes 4-1 in the best-of-7 series. For the 5th time in the last 7 seasons, the Lightning are headed to hockey's Final Four. I'm Jason Barringer.
Tampa Bay next plays the winner of the Boston Bruins New York Islanders series. News time is 8:25, and we'll have weather and traffic together coming up.
$8:26 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's the Wednesday edition. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie, what do we got?
We have a good-looking Wednesday morning out on the roadways for Stewart. The traffic's looking fine right now in Port St. Lucie. North and southbound on the Turnpike and I-95 traffic moving right along at a very nice speed. You should be fine. If you got to get there at 9, you should arrive on time. No tie-ups. There's your latest look at traffic. Jensen Beach, we have 79 and also 79 in Stewart. Here's more on our forecast at WPTV.
Happy Wednesday to you. Today's forecast, mostly sunny skies, hot and humid, high temperatures in the upper 80s. Feels like temperature in the low to mid 90s and slim rain chances. More of the same with a lot of sunshine and dry weather through Friday. Then we'll finally increase rain chances as we go into the weekend and next week as we set up a stormier weather pattern. I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist James Wheeland on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
8:30 right now on the program, and without further ado, it's time to go to outer space, where they have new toilets up on the space station. Right, Randy?
Yes, sir. We discussed that the other day.
I know. I was kind of mortified. You really scarred me when you were talking about that.
Oh, well, they had to have a new toilet because it works better and it's more aerodynamically designed.
Don't even go there.
Well, for females.
Okay.
To make it easier.
That's true.
Yep. And it's smaller, and it also works better because I know this you're going to love is the fact that they recycle everything that goes in there.
that's a whole nother ball game. I don't even want to talk about recycling urine. I don't even want to talk about that.
Well, I've got to tell you, I still have a bottle of water when I was up at the Cape that went through the process.
Wow.
And the only thing that's different about it is it tastes a little bit iodine. You can still taste the iodine in the water.
Well, better you than me. What's happening this day in history?
Nothing.
All right.
Which
See
is one
you
of the
later.
funny things. Nothing happened. It will be next year, but certainly nothing today.
All right, go for it.
For sure. The astronauts on board the International Space Station are continuing their science work and getting ready for spacewalks coming up. Mark Vanderheide joined Commander Akihiro Hoshide from the Japanese Space Agency, and they did vein scans using electronics and electrodes as well as ultrasound 2 devices. The duo scanned each other's heart, neck, shoulders, and leg veins for the vascular echo study that investigates cardiovascular health in space. You've got to remember, when there's no weight, if you will, in space and you're weightless, that the organs of the body react differently. They kind of slow down, take their time. The heart doesn't have to pump as hard as it did. Well, when they get back to Earth, it creates major problems. This is the reason why astronauts exercise at least 2.5 to 3.5 hours per day while they're up there in space. Vanderheat then joined Megan McArthur in unloading a variety of cargo that was delivered by the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. He then spent the rest of the day working with astronauts Shane Kimbrough and Thomas Pasqua, along with Russians Oleg Novitsky and Peter Dubrov, reviewing safety procedures necessary while Dragon is docked at the station. Kimbrough and Pasqua continued gearing up for the next 2 spacewalks on June 16th and 20th to install a new pair of solar arrays that were recently delivered in the unpressurized trunk of the cargo Dragon. The duo first checked out their space helmet cameras, lights, and then reviewed their spacewalk procedures using specialized 3D software. So they get to actually do their whole spacewalk while they're still inside as part of that review. The Russians also did a lot of exercising to maintain crew health and completed refiguring the Poisat module, where last week's 7-hour and 19-minute spacewalk was engaged. The crew did work on a lot of things on board the station as well. They worked on a strange vibration they were getting from their exocycle, if you will, the Advanced Resistive Exercise Device. They wanted to make sure it'll work properly. They also removed several items from the toilet area that were causing some problems. And the configuration is going forward to activate the new toilet on board. They did notice that there was a problem with the Iceberg 2 installation. That's where a new instrument keeps things very cold, and there's usually no problems with it. However, they're hearing that when it goes on, it's an additional loud acoustic that does create a problem at times for the astronauts. Russia has invited the United States into their segment of the International Space Station. What makes it interesting is that all the astronauts eat together and they work separately. The Russians generally work on the Russian segment of the station and the Americans on the American section of the stations. When they sleep in their own separate sides of the International Space Station. Well, Russia has now invited the U.S. to enjoy, if you will, the Russian segment of the station. This doesn't happen very frequently, as they tend to do their own work in their own areas. But one of the key problems now is will they continue to maintain the station past 2024 and extend its technical capabilities. Glavcosmos has offered future space tourists a flight to the International Space Station of up to 30 days. Future commercial participants in spaceflight will be able to understand in which spacecraft and rocket they will go in their space trek, what tasks will be involved in the process of their pre-flight preparation, and what they'll be able to do during their stay on board the station. Russia is hoping that they'll be able to take tourists to the International Space Station twice a year, thus generating more income for them. This comes at a time when Russia is saying that they may pull out of the International Space Station unless sanctions are removed. The sanctions that they have on Russia as far as learning new technologies, has been a sticking point for quite some time. As the U.S. advances, they certainly do not want the Russians to take any of the proprietary work that they have done and use it for other than peaceful purposes. So as a result, these sanctions may inhibit what they're doing on board the station. China said that they are working with their cosmonauts, or toyconauts, if you will, as they get ready to go back into space, possibly this month, to their space station. Their space station have been assigned and will be temporarily housed. The Chinese will go to their station, use it for up to 6 months, then come back, leaving it untended, and then go back to visit it several times. It's an interesting concept, and we'll keep apprised as to what they're actually going to do. Of course, I Still Love You. That's the drone ship that's been out through SpaceX in the Atlantic Ocean, is now being moved through the Panama Canal, and it's going to the West Coast. This will facilitate more launches taking place from Vandenberg Air Force Base or Air Force Station. The idea of launching from Vandenberg is that your orbit would normally be north and south in a very easily manner. They can achieve the same north-south orbit from the Cape, but it takes more energy from the vehicles, meaning less payload that they can use. The first launch should take place next month. You also have now dueling billionaires. You've got Jeff Bezos from Blue Origins, and you have Sir Richard Branson from Virgin Galactic. Both of them want to go into space. Bezos has scheduled his flight for July 20th. And what makes things is that Sir Richard Branson said that he could go into space as early as July 5th, depending on whether he can get the FAA licenses that are necessary before they can fly. Both of them will go above the Kármán line, which is 50 miles above the Earth, during their suborbital flights. And lastly, I want to tell you that if you want to watch the auction that'll take place to see how much it'll cost to go into space, the auction stands at $3.5 million, and you can watch it on BlueOrigin.com.
Let me reach into my wallet.
Money and what else is going on above us. So until tomorrow, have a great day, everybody.
Hey, Randy, let me reach into my wallet. I've got 3.6 mil just kind of, milling around right now.
That's part of your salary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of my salary.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, all right. Have a great day, Randy. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, man.
All right, bye-bye now. That's the Space Report with Randy Siegel. He's on the program each and every weekday at this time. Time to head on over to Ellie's Downtown Deli, where Bonnie's standing by with some delectable treats. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, we're talking hot sandwiches again, and you're going to love what's called the Dagwood at Ellie's Deli. It's a bread-pressed hot panini style, and it's layered with ham, turkey, and bacon, and lettuce and tomato on this, too, with honey mustard. You might want a salad. Enjoy the buffalo chicken Caesar salad. You might like that at Ellie's Downtown Deli. Plus their homemade desserts like peanut butter pie and some brownies, Oreo pie, which the kids will love. Take some home for tonight. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart now has their patio back open. Plus they're at 50% dining inside with a full menu for pickup or delivery. Ellie's also has full dinners available for takeout. Plus their fabulous desserts as well. Call 772-781-6605 to order and pick up today. Located 18 Southeast 6th Street, just off Colorado in Stuart. Call 772-781-6605. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart.
8:41 right now on the Get Up and Go show. It's the Wednesday edition with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. All brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin for the best deals in town. On any type of precious metals, it's always St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Bonnie's standing by with the morning headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning to you, Evan. A team of brave and dedicated Martin County Marine deputies rescued a pair of boaters over the weekend after an accident left them adrift and alone in dangerous waters off the Treasure Coast. WPTV's John Shaman has the story.
Nice. Big shark.
Martin County Marine Deputy Mike Joseph has been patrolling these waters for years. He knows the area's trickiest spots.
At the beginning of our shift, a lot of the guys will come out here and check the sea state, just see what we're dealing with for the day.
Sunday, lifeguards at Bathtub Beach saw a boat drifting toward the reef. They made it on board and found 2 IDs and other personal belongings, so they called the sheriff's office.
All it takes is one wrong wave or lose your footing in this, and you're in the water.
It turns out a woman on board had fallen in the inlet. The other person killed the engine and jumped in, but when he got to her, the boat was too far away, and they were at the mercy of the current.
Out into the ocean, and then it pulled them to the north.
Based on their knowledge of the area, Deputy Joseph and the other rescuers had an idea of where they could be.
We looked in the water, and we saw a head bobbing in between the breaking waves. For us to hear it, I would say 200-300 yards away, it carried well. They were struggling, treading water. I believe they're in the water for over 30 minutes. They were visibly tired and shaken.
We reached out to the couple that want to share their part of the story. Deputy Joseph says neither boater was wearing a life jacket, but there were jackets on the boat, so no citation was issued.
The St. Lucie Inlet is very dangerous, especially with the water being like that. I mean, at any time in a smaller vessel like they were in, you could take one over the front, you could swamp the vessel, and you could obviously fall overboard.
Joseph says this wasn't his first rescue, and it probably won't be his last.
It's always a good day, like I said, when we can do this and help people out. I mean, that's why I do it.
In Martin County, John Shaman, WPTV, News Channel 5.
The fight to stop Brightline from traveling through Indian River County is over. County leaders have agreed to drop a lawsuit against the rail company. As part of an agreement, Brightline would pay $31 million to make safety upgrades to more than 30 crossings. The county spent millions fighting Brightline and even tried to take its lawsuit to the Supreme Court of the United States. For the first time, the number of Baker Act exams in Florida decreased. WPTV's Contact 5 investigative reporter Katie LeGrone explains why.
For the first time, the number of Baker Act exams is down in Florida. That's according to USF's Center for Baker Act Reporting, which tracks the number of involuntary mental health exams done under the state's Baker Act law. The center exclusively revealing to us early numbers which show last fiscal year, the statewide total of involuntary psychiatric exams decreased by nearly 4% from the year prior. The largest drop, kids under 18, which has historically been trending up in Baker Act exams, and younger, with kids as young as 5 years old committed under the state Baker Act law. According to the latest data, between 2019 and 2020, Florida logged nearly 36,000 Baker Act exams for kids, of more than 5% from the previous year.
We need to reduce that number by much, much more.
But during a year dominated by shutdowns, school closures, and distance learning, Sam Boyd, senior attorney with the Southern Poverty Law Center, believes the Baker Act drop is more reflective of the pandemic than any fundamental change in how Baker Acts are used here.
We don't see any other policy changes that could explain it other than the fact that folks are staying home because of the pandemic.
In March, the advocacy group released this report criticizing the state for overusing, even abusing the Baker Act, pointing blame at school districts, including Palm Beach County. But more state funding focused on improving mental health on campus has some school districts seen major drops in Baker Acted students. They say the pandemic cannot fully explain.
The Baker Act isn't a punishment.
In Orange County, in the last 3 years, the number of students Baker Acted in the district has dropped from 542 to 104 this year.
Do you think that the pandemic also played a role in the numbers?
Sure. I think that would definitely have some impact on the numbers early in the fall when so many kids were doing distance learning.
But for the past few years, the district, like many, has made mental health a focus, using state funding from the Marjory Stoneman Douglas Act to pump up its mental health staff on campus. By fall, each school in the district will have a school counselor and social worker to help kids in crisis.
It gives us more resources to do that without resorting all the way to Baker.
After a year consumed by a global health crisis, it's too early to tell if the recent drop in Baker Acts in Florida is sustainable or just another anomaly during a year full of them.
I don't think it shows that we have turned the page or made any fundamental changes that are sufficient to start reducing the inappropriate use of involuntary psychiatric examination on children or adults for that matter.
And this session, lawmakers also took up the Baker Act issue, passing a number of reforms that gets parents involved before a student is Baker Acted and makes school districts more accountable for when a student is Baker Acted on campus. Katie LeGrone, WPTV News Channel 5.
And lastly, Mountain Dew's Baja Blast flavor is back in stores for summer. Normally, you can only get it at Taco Bell, and they also have 2 new spin-offs, a tropical punch flavor called Baja Punch and a pineapple coconut version called Baja Flash. But there's actually even bigger Baja Blast news to share because there's also a new line of air fresheners on the way. All 3 Baja flavors will have a scent that goes with them. They haven't said how much the air fresheners will cost yet or how long they'll be available, but they'll hit Mountain Dew's online store later this month. Mike Trout says his right calf is starting to feel better, but the Los Angeles Angels superstar still doesn't know when he will be able to return. The 3-time AL MVP went on the injured list on May 18th after straining his calf the night before against the Cleveland Indians. The Angels said at the time that Trout would miss 6 to 8 weeks, which would sideline him through the All-Star break. News time 8:48. We'll have weather and traffic together for you next.
$8:49 right now, the time on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie, what do you got?
Well, we don't have anything happening on the roadways right now, and that's a really good thing. Traffic up to speed, moving right along on U.S. Highway 1 and our major highways, I-95, the Turnpike, north and southbound. Everything is looking good on this Wednesday morning, and that's your latest look at traffic. Palm City, we're up to 80 right now, and in Tupelo, Mississippi, it's 72. Here's a look at our weather at WPTV.
Happy Wednesday to you. Today's forecast, mostly sunny skies, hot and humid, high temperatures in the upper 80s. Feels like temperature in the low to mid 90s and slim rain chances. More of the same with a lot of sunshine and dry weather through Friday. Then we'll finally increase rain chances as we go into the weekend and next week as we set up a stormier weather pattern. I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist James Wieland on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Mornings are better with the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. TU.
Are you vaccinated? Have friends and family recently reached out to see you? But you enjoyed the past year of quarantine, avoiding their drama and negativity, and now you just prefer to be alone? Well, you're not alone. Well, you are, but there are others just like you. In fact, 1 in 4 people want more time alone. So be like them and sign up now for Quarantine 2.0. It'll take care of things like groceries, bill payments, and most of all, automatically returning texts to friends and family saying your life is busy with other things. Sign up today. Once you do, we'll take care of everything and leave you alone.
For sure. Leave us alone. Quarantine 2.0.
And some people have just gotten like really used to being alone, I guess.
Yeah.
There are some people in the world, who would rather tend to be alone really than, really going to go out and having to buy their groceries anymore, stepping in the store and deal with anybody. There are really people out there like that, Evan.
I agree. There's a lot of people that just do very well by themselves.
Yeah. And, like once we got used to it with all this quarantine but then there are some people that are jumping for joy and the people that are saying, we finally get to go out to a concert. We finally get to go outdoors and be by other people and experience a concert.
I'm just glad I've got baseball back.
I know, right?
I mean, I was so lost last year with no baseball. Honestly, I was lost. I mean, I felt like I had no direction, no baseball. I sat the other day and I reflected on everything what I was doing last year at this time.
I know.
And last year at this time, I would go from here home and I would like go in the shower and just scrub everything off. Literally. I was showering like 3 times a day.
You were that nervous, weren't you?
I was very nervous.
We did have that sense of being closed in last year where
Yeah.
we didn't know when anything was going to come back, or it was just that wonderment of when is this virus going to go away?
Yeah,
How long?
I've never been more scared. I mean, I was scared for a lot of things, just getting into other people's personal business of, well, if you're going here, I'm not sure I want to be around you. Or if you're going there, I'm not sure if I want to be around you.
You were pretty freaked out by it from what I remember.
Yeah, I was very, I was scared.
And you know what? You weren't the only one acting like that. I have friends and relatives too, Evan, that, after this happened, they didn't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, there were different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
I like getting out. So I was one of those where I wasn't that terrified, that I couldn't go anywhere. But then there were some
that I just
locked their doors.
I just went from here. I went home, stayed in the house all day, got up in the morning, came here, went home, came here, went home. Just constant. It was just nonstop, day in, day out, day in, day out.
And what do you think finally happened that broke your fear of it? What might have been the final unbinding?
I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest with you. I don't. I still had to go there.
Don't get too close, right?
Yeah.
Don't get too close to me without that mask.
No. I still have not gone to the mall yet. I have not been to the Treasure Coast Mall yet.
Gosh, it's been quite a while since I've been, but even during COVID, I still visited the mall because Cohen's Optical is in there, and I had to keep getting my contact lenses.
Yeah, I have not been to the mall yet. I think I'm ready to.
Yes.
I think I'm ready to venture to the mall.
Don't be afraid.
No, it's just it's a comfort level.
Yeah.
That's all. It's just a complete comfort level.
I haven't been around the mall in a while either. And I don't even know. I think their movie theaters got to be back open by now. No, I got to look that up. Regal Cinemas. Because I know that AMC is back open, open 7 days a week.
Right.
And let me see. I wonder if, let me look up the Regal Cinema. Oh, yeah. Showtimes today. So Regal Treasure Coast Mall Cinemas are back open.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's good news because, I, for one, always like to hang out and, get a little dinner and maybe get a little something to eat in that food court and then go right into their movie theater.
I miss going to the food court because I'm the kind of person that would sit in the food court and just watch people. I could go and order 2 slices of pizza from Sbarro with a soda.
I miss having pizza from Sbarro.
Yeah. And I could sit there and take 2 hours to eat those 2 slices of pizza and a soda, just watching people walk by.
Mm-hmm.
Just watching people watch.
I think that's what I'd probably do at the ball game at Clover Park. I would watch the people.
I think next week I'm gonna venture into the mall. I'm getting at that comfort level point. And it's been a year and a half.
I think you can do it. Venture out, young Skywalker.
Yes. That's a wrap for us, folks. The Wednesday edition of the program is done. We'll be back in 21 hours for another edition of the Get Up and Go Show. Remember, if you have good values on the inside, you won't look for validation on the outside.
Happy Hump Day. Hope you all make it over it
That's
quite
right.
well.
And just remember something. If you can't hump on Hump Day, then get some sour candy balls. That's it.
Sour candy balls. Yes.
Sour candy balls.
We're going to be ordering some shortly.
Yes, we will from Amazon, without a doubt, folks. We're WSU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next. Bye-bye for now.